section today. Today, I will be talking about something very important, something that will interest you. I'm talking about air gasket repair. Should you go for a professional mechanic or a DIY? This is one of the topics that people are really interested, and I know you are also interested, which means when it comes to repairing a gasket, can you do it yourself or you should go for a mechanic to do that for you? Don't worry, watch this live session and you are going to enjoy this very video. One of the vulnerable parts or component of engine is a gasket. Sometimes in your entirety of your engine, maybe you may not have problem with your crankshaft, you may not have problem with your um, camshaft or other engine major component. But when it comes to head gasket, it's very vulnerable, especially when there is overheating. You notice that when you have overheating, the air gasket will be the first one to give way because it's at a point where it feels a lot of heat. So, and because of compression, so air gasket easily give way. That does not mean that the air gasket is bad, no, but that is the function of air gasket. It is better for air gasket to blow than for other major engine components to have problem. So now let's go to, should you go for a repair or should you go for a repair or you should go or you should do it yourself or you call a mechanic. When it comes to head gasket repair, there is something you need to understand. You should understand that we are not talking about replacement. Head gasket repair is quite different from replacement. If you are to replace your head gasket, that simply means you are to remove the head gasket totally. Let me just jump something on my screen. Okay. Which means if you are to replace your head gasket, it means you have to replace the head gasket totally. It's a very long process and it will cost you a lot of money. You have to remove the head gasket, the cylinder head, remove the head gasket, then do other things before you replace the head gasket. I will not go to that details. Now, but when it comes to repair, it means you are not removing the head gasket. You are not removing the head gasket because as soon as you remove the head gasket, you cannot reuse the head gasket again. No, you cannot use it again. So when it comes to head gasket repair, it simply means you are not removing the head gasket. So should you now, when you are to repair it, should you go for a professional mechanic to repair it for you, or you can do it yourself? Don't worry, I will answer that question right here in this video. If you are to do your head gasket repair, you can do it yourself. You don't need a mechanic. What you have to do is just by simply follow my channel. You can follow my channel. Don't worry, you should be able to repair your head gasket yourself because it only requires little process for you to be able to do so. What are the process involved? One, you need to identify a quality head gasket repair product you want to use. Whether you are using liquid moly or you are using seafoam and other good products outside there, you need to get a good product. After getting a good product, what should you now do? You need to put that in your radiator and follow the instruction written on the sealant of the head gasket. So these are things that you have to do. And looking at the process, you will notice that, let me on my light background, please. So these are simple process that you can follow and you'll be able to fix your air gasket repair. So to repair your air gasket, you don't need to go for a mechanic. But there are certain symptoms that will tell you that okay, this require a air gasket repair or this require air gasket replacement. There are certain symptoms, and these symptoms are very crucial. You need to understand these symptoms. For example, if you have a slight leakage between your air gasket, uh, coolant leakage coming from your air gasket, then and it's not really affecting the level of the coolant. This is to tell you that you can really go for a repair. I've done a video, or let me say, I will do a video where I'm going to analyze the symptoms. These symptoms that you are going to see that will tell you that okay, should you go for a repair or you should go for a replacement. I'll mention 5 symptoms that will tell you if you have to go for repair or you have to go for replacement. And for you to be able to do a proper repair, the instruction is written on the air gasket sealant already. So if you buy a air gasket sealant, just look at the instruction written on it. It's just a very simple steps that will guide you on how to do it. But if you decide to give it to a mechanic, well, it will not charge you too high because the mechanic is not going to spend a lot of time in fixing these. In most cases, all the mechanic have to do is just that is to follow the instruction written on the coolant, the air gasket repair sealant that you bought. So you can do it yourself. So whether you are a mechanic or you are not a mechanic, you can do air gasket repair by yourself. I have customers or clients that when they complain to me about a certain problem, what I'll do is just to tell them, okay, do this, do that. Something can just be a text and they get it right simply because the problem does not warrant my professional. So it's something they can do by themselves. Similar thing is head gasket repair. When it comes to head gasket repair, this is something you can do yourself. Do it yourself. So if you don't have that confidence, don't worry. You are not going to damage anything. Just ensure that you follow as the instruction written on the the sealant that you bought. The instruction is there already on how to go about it. Ensure that when you put it in the radiator, check the minute that the engine will run either on idle or you should run it normal. Then test running, ensure there is no leakage. These are just simple ways in which to ensure that you have a gasket repair. But when it comes to head gasket replacement, you can't do it yourself. You should know this. You cannot do this yourself unless you have a mechanical idea or you are a mechanic yourself. So when it comes to replacing head gasket, don't go there because that require a lot of um, um, mechanical principle that you need to apply it. Sometimes, like in some engines, you may need to even reset the valve adjustment and other things that are involved. Sometimes you have to do the resurfacing of your cylinder head and sometimes even the engine block. So this will cost you a lot of stress and it will require your technical knowledge a lot. So if you don't have it, so don't go there. But when it comes to repair, after repair is something you can do. So for example, you are driving and you notice that the temperature of your car just jump up and after a few minutes it come down a few seconds it drop again to normal temperature and when you park you check everything is normal again and you keep driving and everything normal. That is to tell you that something is wrong. At that point, you can go for head gasket repair. You can use head gasket repair sealant. When you use head gasket repair sealant, it's going to help you to correct the problem as early as possible before the problem becomes bigger. You should know that in most cases, there are certain symptoms that you're going to see when your head gasket is about to give way. It gives you some symptoms. It's just for you to pay attention to to those symptoms, and you are going to apply head gasket repair. But how long will your head gasket repair last? Well, sometimes it can take you more than 2 or 3 years before your head gasket repair can give way. So it is not a bad idea for you to go for head gasket repair. And when you compare the cost of your head gasket repair, you notice that it's not a big gamble. It's something you can gamble on because the highest you're going to spend on head gasket repair could be 50, sometime between $30 to $60, depending on the type of head gasket repair sealant you are buying. Some are $30, 40, 50 to 60. So I think the highest ones I've ever bought was $60. So you don't have to worry. So the price of going for head gasket repair, even if you get it wrong, it's not going to cause any harm to your engine. The only thing is that it's not going to correct the effect, or it's not going to solve the problem. And when you notice that the problem is still persists, then you can now contact a mechanic to do that for you. So if you have the symptoms of head gasket problem and you notice that the symptom is very light, you can go for head gasket repair as a DIY. Have that confidence in yourself that you can do it and you are going to do it. So don't fear. No, sometimes the problem we are facing is fear. Can I do it? As you are watching this video, I'm giving that confidence that you can do it. But you need to ascertain that the problem is not a major problem. That means the symptoms you are seeing from your engine is not a major one. That your air gasket has already blown. For example, if you notice that there is mixture of coolant in your oil already, the oil has already turned to milky, or the level of your oil has increased due to the presence of coolant in your engine oil, you cannot go for air gasket repair at that time again. It is too late because the symptom is too high and it's too obvious. You have to go for air gasket replacement. And when you are going for air gasket replacement, you must contact a mechanic. And if you're having symptoms, for example, if you're having steady white smokes, now when you're having a white smoke on your engine, a white smoke is simply telling you that there is presence of coolant in your combustion chamber, that coolant is burning. That is why you're having white smoke. If the white smoke is constant, then that is to tell you that you have to replace the head gasket. But if the wise one just pop up, especially sometimes at the startup, that is the early symptom. By the time you start the engine, you notice the wise ones and it disappears after the startup. That is to tell you that the air gasket is about to give way. What should you do? At this point, you can go for air gasket repair. Or if you notice that when the RPM of the engine is increased, when the RPM is increased, or is you are running on a very high RPM, you notice why smoke. But when you go back to normal RPM, the smoke is the white smoke is gone. It's still telling you that at that point we can still go for air gasket repair. You don't have to go for air gasket replacement. And you can still do that by yourself as a DIY person. So it is very essential for you to keep watching videos like this so you can have idea on how to become a DIY mechanic. So you are going to save yourself a lot of money when you watch video like this, because it will give you the confidence for you to go ahead to fix your engine by yourself and for yourself. That was the day my dad called me. And what is his complaint? He noticed drop of oil coming in between the cylinder edge, and the engine block. Drop of oil. And he said he need my attention, that I should come and help him to replace the head gasket. Not that I was busy. I could have easily gone there and do that. But I told him, I said, Dad, go and buy head gasket repair sealant. Go and buy. And I told him that when you buy, follow the instruction written on it, because the instruction of each manufacturer may quite different. That's why I don't tell you the steps. Just follow the instruction written on it. There are simple instructions that you can follow. Then my dad did that. He poured it into the radiator, and that is how the problem come. At least before I went there to change the head gasket, the head gasket spent about 3 years after what he did. That is to tell you that head gasket repair can prolong your engine or your head gasket for a considerable time, especially when you buy a quality head gasket repair. At this point, if you have not followed the channel, then follow this channel. Please follow the channel. And if you have not subscribe. If you have not like. If you have not comment on this video so that other people can see this video. Let's stop here for today. Hope you enjoy this live session. If you enjoy the live session and you watch it to this moment, thank you so much. See you in another